look at Audi. So you've got Bortoletto, who's a raw speed, raw talent F2 champion. I don't know if he won F3. I'm not sure,
I
but he's
think he
the
won
He
F3
did.
as well. He did.
F3,
He did.
F2. He has the pedigree of the next Piastri. So he's very, very good. A lot of raw speed will be good of qualifying once, but once he gets more experience, and I think Hulkenberg is going to have the advantage because Hulkenberg has driven across a wide spectrum of cars, is very good technically, also is a wily racecrafter. Not the greatest of all time, but he's very good. The time that he had with who was the other guy that he drove with that's his teammate that's gone now, Magnussen. Those guys, we remember them fondly. So he has experience, and I think his experience is going to still keep Bortoleto at bay, but not for long. At the beginning of the season, I'm going to see Hulkenberg out qualifying him and probably edging him out in races. But I see with his raw pace and everything, and with these young guys who are adaptable, especially with their generation in the sim, I think he'll catch up with Hulkenberg probably after some races and will be challenging him for qualifiers. And I see this as a 50-50 battle for them when you look at the whole season, but I'm going to give the edge to Hulkenberg just because of experience, and he's driven over a wide range of cars, so I think he'll adapt to these cars better in the beginning. But I think Bortoletto's raw speed will catch up with him because these cars are going to have less grip and stability, and guys like Bortoletto or guys like Verstappen, Norris, these guys can handle raw pace and can handle a little bit of instability. But that being said, it's not like Hulkenberg lacks pace or the ability to drive instability, but it's just that this younger generation of drivers are more adaptable to chaotic conditions while driving. What are your thoughts, Roman?
Yes. Hello. There's many things about Audi with these two drivers, Hulkenberg and Gabby. I have
Yeah.
some disagreements with you.
Yeah.
I don't think Gabby is suited much. His wet weather drives so far have resulted in him being out of points and crashing. That
Mm-hmm.
was in Miami, not Miami. It was in Australia, that was Silverstone, and then Brazil. So his wet weather ability with instability is unsure, but Hulkenberg is a veteran. He give him any car, he'll drive it 2 points. He's that kind of driver. And
Yeah.
seeing that Audi is new and the aerodynamics and engine will be questionable at best, it is
Yeah.
good to put your bets on Hulkenberg to be the better driver out of the two of them.
Yeah, what I like I said at the beginning of the season, I think he will, and I said that and throughout the whole season he will have more points. But I think that you have to remember that this guy was a rookie last year, jumping into a
He
ground
was.
effect car, jumping into ground effect cars from an F2, which didn't have ground effects. So what I'm saying is that I'm predicting that his learning curve by halfway through the season, not that he'll start beating Hulkenberg, but the gap will close. And I think that in a race or two, he will beat them. And those tracks that he did poorly in last year, Australia, these are tracks that are they're the most. Those are usually tracks that have that are made for are they rear limited tracks? They're rear limited tracks, right?
They are very
Yeah.
limited,
And if you don't
yes.
know how to manage your tires, they're going to go out, and that's what he hasn't learned yet. So I'm thinking that he's going to be like Piastri. You're going to see him on those same tracks have a market improvement if he's practicing now, which doesn't mean he's going to just like Piastri. Piastri came close to beating Norris this year, but not just because of the team orders, but because of those some of those tricky tracks which have low grip and everything. Piastri still hasn't mastered those, so I'm not saying he's going to be as close to Hulkenberg as Piastri was to Norris, but I'll see that the gap is closing, and I think that within 2 years he'll be probably by 2027. That's when we're going to start to
Definitely.
see. Yeah, that's when we're going to start to see his
Gabby is
yeah,
basically Audie's future, right? Hulkenberg is getting old. However
yeah,
adaptable fast he may be, he's definitely getting older. And
yeah,
Audie's definitely putting their bets on Gabby getting better and better. So
yeah.
Gabby is
We,
basically Audie's future.
yeah, yeah. So give him a year or two, and we'll see. Okay, what are your thoughts, Kule?
Oh, sorry. I had wine in my throat when you asked.
We're going to Johnny. Wipe your fingers,
No, no,
Johnny.
no,
What is
no, no.
that?
I know what I want to say. So,
Okay,
off the bat, I'm going for Bortoletto,
okay,
and I'll
Oh,
tell you why.
yeah,
Um, Hulkenberg has the experience, but throughout his career, he's also had a history of accidents, car crashes, and mistakes, which also, admittedly, Bortoletto also does have. However, I think that Bortoletto has a higher ceiling of making fewer mistakes as time goes on. I don't think that we're going to see that much difference in Hulkenberg. And therefore, given Bortoletto's history of being very fast and he's got his eye with the new season, and both cars are sort of starting off afresh. Both of them are new to the team. Both of them are new to the car.
Well,
It's not
Hulkenberg has
fully
been around
decided.
for this is his second year now. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
both 2 years.
I know. I mean, in
So Audi.
Audi in particular, both of them are new to it, so it's not really defined who's going to be first or second. And based on that, and based on Bortoletto's raw speed as his main strength, I think, and I'm going to put my neck out because I could be horribly wrong on this, but I
Yeah.
really do think that Bortoletto is going to be the faster of the two drivers in the Audi
This year.
this
Yeah. Okay. That's a risky. I'm not going to disagree with you, but it's risky, but it's not unfathomable. But we'll have to wait and see. These cars are going to be tricky too, and you're going to have to do deployment too. Hulkenberg is going to have that advantage too with the strategy and deployment because he's been around longer and he does have some level of technical. He's known as a guy who has a pretty decent level of technical understanding
A
of cars.
technical wizard.
He just
Technical
has a high
wizard,
history of
yes.
accidents and mistakes, even though he's highly
So I
experienced.
think that was when him
I
and
think
Magnus.
Bortoletto could wipe that out,
I
improve
think
that.
him and Magnussen were doing meth or something that year, man. Those guys.
Yeah, they're like Bebop and Rocksteady from Teenage
Yeah.
Mutant Ninja
That year,
Turtles.
him and
They're just
Magnussen.
bashing everybody.
Yeah. And I think that was. I remember it was 24 when they were both with was it Haas? Yeah, yeah. And I think they were pushing that bad boy image. Like even before the season started, they were dressed up like wrestlers and stuff. But you're right. That year, those guys were going loco that year. What are your thoughts?
One thing I
Oh, go
should
ahead.
mention.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg has been driving basically backmarker cars for all of his career. He has never
Okay.
really driven a like good car. So
Yeah.
there's also that.
Yeah. So we'll see. What are your thoughts? Which one should I go? Any, mini, money, Johnny.
Any mini
Apparently,
manager.
you're taking intricate notes.
Yes. So, well, I'm gonna say experience makes the difference. So I'm just gonna go for Hulkenberg because
Yeah.
he's more experienced and we know about him. We know what he's worth. But however, this cars, these are new cars, and then everybody's gonna be on the same level. I mean, these are new. It's gonna be a whole new kind of new system, new cars and everything. So, and younger people tend to kind of like get used to the newer things easier than the older
Their
people.
brains
So
have their brains have more plasticity.
yeah, so I think
Elasticity.
Bortoletto might get used to the cars quicker than Hulkenberg, and then might actually wipe Hulkenberg might score more points than Hulkenberg. So
Yeah, but
so
also
it's
Huckelberg has experience. His experience also might give him an initial um, ability to adapt to the cars initially, but we'll see. But we would have thought that would have worked for Hamilton, but it didn't, did it? So Hamilton had
well, that
to
one the other problems. Then apart from that, so that car was
yeah,
was 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 a
yeah,
write-off from the
yeah. I'm
get-go.
thinking about Hamilton's struggles with Mercedes his last year before that. It wasn't as bad as with Ferrari, but he was beginning to struggle with the ground effect a little bit. But that's the story for
Well,
another day. What are your thoughts of Falabi?
Yeah, I think in the short term, I'd say Nico Hulkenberg, perhaps maybe between round 1 and 8. I'll give it to Nico Hulkenberg. And it's obvious. It's because of, first and foremost, I think when it comes to, because of the fact that you now have a more balanced power distribution, 50-50, 50 on the internal combustion side, and then 50 on the MG kinetic side. So this kind of complexity can be better managed by Nico Hulkenberg's experience. I think he has a more reliable feedback loop, in my own opinion. So during
Yeah.
the initial races where teething issues might occur in that car, with its engine, I think Hulkenberg will be the better driver for basically diagnosing mapping issues, and
Yeah.
ensuring that the team doesn't go down. However, by the time we get to the European season, when the baseline is established, if the car is flying, you want Bortoletto to be in the seat, really. But if
Yeah.
there are issues, you still want someone who can give feedback as to fix the car. So I think it's going to be shared that way. But without a shadow of doubt, what Kule said is absolutely right. Bortoletto's got a higher ceiling. He will likely take over, and then he outqualified Hulkenberg a couple of times last year. And he has a very, very good single pace single lap raw pace. So I think that's the way to pan out in the early part of the season where everybody's basically confused and there are teething issues. I think Hulkenberg has a better, mental bandwidth to handle all the complexities of, the lightness of the car, the balance of engine power, and then there's no DRS anymore. Now what we have now is Z mode and X mode, depending on how it's to be deployed. Yeah, so basically, and the downforce is lower now. So I think in the early teething areas, it's going to be Nico Hulkenberg without a shadow of that. But later on, I think if the car is doing well, Bortoleto will, overtake.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's switch to the next topic.